So there are a lot of apartment hunting videos on here of influencers looking at $8,000 apartments in New York City, but that's not the reality for most of us here. So today I wanted to show you more realistic apartments that the average person can afford. I will be moving in with my boyfriend, so splitting the rent will be very helpful. If you're thinking of moving here, I highly recommend getting roommates just so that it feels less brutal to pay the rent here. With that out of the way, here is what I was looking for in our next apartment. I wanted a 1-bed, 1-bath in the Upper East Side or Upper West Side. Our budget was $4,000 or under, an apartment with a decent kitchen with modern appliances. I honestly just want to cook in a kitchen that has more than 2 feet of counter space. I don't think that's too much to ask for, so fingers crossed. I would prefer a modern building, but I know at this price point it's pretty hard to find one that's modern in Manhattan. So I'm open to an older / pre-war building. Last but not least, I really want a dishwasher and in-building laundry. If you find a building with no laundry, it's a lot cheaper, but also I'm not the type to be hauling my laundry outside. That cannot be me. For the searching process, I made a spreadsheet of all of the apartments that I liked on StreetEasy. I ended up messaging like 10 different properties and got ghosted by like 4 of them, which was very interesting. I also came across a listing that had AI pictures of the apartment. If we could just ban AI photos from real estate listings, that would be great. We're already getting catfished with wide-angle lens photos, so like using AI would only make it worse. Alright, enough about AI, let's talk about the tours. The first apartment is in the Upper West Side. It was tucked between these 2 restaurants, which I don't know how I feel about that. My first impression was a bit meh. The apartment was on a main street, so it was just very chaotic, loud, and busy. Once inside the apartment, the first thing you see is the kitchen. I love a good kitchen because I cook a lot. This kitchen was honestly the perfect size for me. I also really liked the bathroom. I could tell that this building was renovated, which was what I was looking for. The bathroom was a little bit small, but I didn't mind since it was renovated. I did feel like this apartment looked bigger in the listing. They really outdid themselves with the wide-angle lens. The main living area was a bit small, so I wouldn't be able to fit all of my furniture. I really liked the bedroom because of the brick wall. It's so iconic. This apartment was technically good. There was nothing glaringly wrong with it. I just didn't feel a connection or spark with it. Maybe because I went on a cloudy day and the lighting was kind of harsh, so it looked a little bit depressing, but overall this apartment was a maybe, but I wanted to find something better. This next apartment is in the Upper East Side. I love the brick exterior and the overall neighborhood just looks very beautiful and cozy. When I walked in, I immediately loved the entryway. It looked very modern and clean. The person who was supposed to give the tour literally didn't show up, so we ended up just knocking on the door and the current tenants living there gave us the tour instead. Out of all the apartments I saw, this was a catfish because the photos made this apartment look huge, but it was actually so small, like way too small. What initially drew me into this apartment were the French doors, but the current tenants told me they almost never used them because the apartment is so small. I did like the kitchen, it was decent. This apartment has an in-unit washer and dryer, which is amazing, but it just took up so much space and it just made the overall apartment feel a little bit more cramped. We immediately knew that this apartment wasn't it, so we moved on to the next place. This apartment is also in the Upper East Side. The exterior looks really nice. It's this modern gray building. I really liked how this apartment felt very clean and modern from the outside and also in the entryway and the hallways leading up to the apartment. This apartment has in-building laundry and it also has a gym, which is nice because then I wouldn't need to buy a gym membership. Gym memberships in New York cost like $100 a month. The kitchen was my favorite part. Out of all of the kitchens I saw, this kitchen was stunning. It was gorgeous and I almost signed the lease just so I could use this kitchen. The bedroom was really small. It could fit a queen bed, but that would that would be it. Like, we're not fitting anything else in there. In the bedroom, I didn't like how there were so many weird walls cutting into the space. It made the room feel a lot smaller and just really awkward. This apartment also had a private patio, which I really liked the idea of, but I felt like we'd be compromising a lot on the size and the layout of the overall apartment just to have a big patio. I would have preferred if the patio was a bit smaller and the apartment itself was bigger. Another thing about patios is that I feel like I would only be able to use it for half the year because the summers in New York are like super hot and humid and the winters are pretty cold. The bathroom is gorgeous. It has this like gray tile. I'm a sucker for a good bathroom. I feel like older bathrooms can look more dusty and gross. Like the older apartments in New York, I feel like those older bathrooms aren't as well maintained. I also do not like the all white bathrooms. I feel like the all white aesthetic, like it looks a little bit yellow, and that just kind of makes the overall bathroom feel like a little bit icky for me. So I really appreciated how this one, it was a modern bathroom and it just felt very clean. The living room was very small and definitely wouldn't have fit all of my furniture. Since I work remotely, it was very important that I had a place to put my desk, and there was nowhere to put my desk here. I didn't get this on camera, but there was like a 4-inch gaping hole / pipe on the wall in the living room. And there was also a floor drain just casually just hanging out in the middle of the room. So we asked the property manager what that was all about. And she said that the apartment used to be a laundry room and then it was converted into an apartment. But I felt like that just gave the living room a weird vibe. Yes, we could cover the vent and the drain with furniture, but just me knowing that it's there, like I would feel a little bit strange knowing there's a hole in the wall. At this point, I was really frustrated because just when I thought it was the perfect apartment, there would be like a weird quirk that would ruin the whole thing for me. You can't have it all unless you pay like $6,000 or $8,000 a month. That compromise wasn't worth it. So at this point, I was just hoping to find an apartment that would fit my couch and my desk, that would be comfortable to exist in. I didn't care about the bathroom anymore. I didn't care about the kitchen. All right, so with that said, we move on to the next apartment. I wouldn't have toured this apartment if not for the funny video that the real estate broker recorded of the tour.
Look at this, really nice. Wow, look at this fixture. Hey, what's up everybody? Got the marble bathroom with the nice sliding glass doors.
He was just so funny and unserious in the video. I don't know, he just felt very genuine, so it made me curious about the apartment. I felt like there was a lot of potential based on the photos I saw. When I got there, the hallway looked really spooky and dark. There was like a greenish, yellowish tint to the lighting. It looked a little bit haunted, so not a great first impression. But nonetheless, I proceeded to the apartment. I immediately felt a connection to the place. It was like a breath of fresh air from the hallway. I felt like the living room was spacious and would fit all of my furniture. Even though the kitchen is small, I felt like the fact that it had a window made me feel a little bit okay with it. My least favorite part about this apartment was the bathroom. It was tiny. It's the all-white bathroom that I do not like, but I relented. I dropped to my knees when I saw the bedroom. The bedroom with the 2 windows, since it's a corner unit, it gets a lot of light. I kind of let go of the idea that I was gonna find the perfect apartment. I don't wanna say that I settled, but I would say that I adjusted my expectations. If the apartment was like 80% there, then that would be okay, and that I would be able to live with the flaws. So if it wasn't obvious, this is the apartment that we ended up going for. It's definitely not perfect. I've put a lot of work into it to make it fit my lifestyle. For example, I bought this kitchen counter so that I had space to cook. I'm the type of person that does not like to move every year. I prefer to like live in one place for 3 years and really shape the space to work for my lifestyle. This apartment felt like it could grow with our lifestyle, which I think ultimately made it the right choice.